Throughout history, cultures around the world have told tales of terrifying and awe-inspiring creatures, monsters that lurk in the shadows, guard sacred places, or challenge the bravest of heroes. From the fire-breathing dragons of Europe to the shape-shifting Yokai of Japan, these mythical beasts embody the fears, beliefs, and imaginations of their people. This series will explore some of the most legendary monsters of mythology, uncovering their origins, powers, and the stories that keep them alive to this day. Welcome to Myth and Lores, a journey into the dark and divine. Without further ado, let's jump into another lore. Yokai are fascinating creatures from Japanese folklore, and many of them have dark and eerie stories attached to them. These supernatural beings often reflect the fears and beliefs of the people in different periods of Japanese history, and many have morphed over time, taking on even more sinister forms. Here are a few of the darker and more mysterious yokai myths. Onryo. The Onryo is one of the most terrifying types of yokai. These are vengeful spirits, often of women who die with unfinished business or deep anger. The myth of Onryo has influenced countless horror stories, films, and plays. It's believed that if the Onryo is wronged or murdered, they return from the afterlife to seek revenge, often causing death and misfortune to the person who wronged them. A famous example is Oiwa, the ghost from the kabuki play Yotsuya Kaiden, who is murdered by her husband and returns as a horrific ghost seeking revenge. Jirogumo, the binding bride. The Jirogumo is a terrifying spider yokai that can transform into a beautiful woman. She lures victims to her lair, usually in remote locations, by using her charm or pretending to be a helpless woman in need of rescue. Once the victim is close enough, she reveals her true nature and ensnares them in her web. The Jirogumo often feeds on the blood or flesh of her victims. In some versions of the myth, she can control other spiders, making her the queen of arachnids. Kuchisake Onna, the slit-mouthed woman. This urban legend began in the 1970s and continues to haunt Japanese cities. The Kuchisake Onna is a woman who wears a mask and approaches her victims, often asking if they think she's beautiful. If they answer yes, she removes her mask to reveal a grotesque slit mouth that stretches from ear to ear. If they say no, she kills them. If they say yes, she then asks the victim again, and no matter how they respond, they meet a grisly fate. Some versions say that she might let someone go if they answer in a specific way, like telling her she's average. Tengu, the Birdman. The Tengu are mountain spirits depicted as humanoid creatures with bird-like features. They are often shown with red faces, long noses, and the ability to fly. While not always malicious, some Tengu are known for their trickery and violent nature, especially toward those who dare to venture into their territories. They are particularly linked with martial arts. As some myths suggest, they taught human beings advanced combat techniques. However, they also have a more malevolent side, where they can lead people astray, causing them to get lost or become violent towards others. Rokurokubi, the stretching neck. The Rokurokubi are yokai with the disturbing ability to stretch their necks to incredible lengths. By day, they appear as ordinary humans, but at night, they transform, often becoming monstrous or unsettling. They might terrorize people by extending their necks to spy on them or to eat their food. In some tales, they might be able to detach their heads entirely. These spirits are sometimes depicted as women, and some versions of the myth describe them as cursed for their past misdeeds or having a particular kind of insatiable hunger. Yurei, the ghost. The Yurei are spirits of the dead that have not found peace. The Japanese equivalent of the Western ghosts, they are typically depicted as pale, robed figures with long, disheveled hair and are often associated with tragic deaths such as murder or betrayal. Yurei are often bound to the living world because of unresolved emotional pain or unfinished business. They can bring curses or misfortune to the living, and it is said that performing rituals or making offerings can help appease them and send them to the afterlife. Ikiro, the living spirit. The Ikiro is a dangerous supernatural entity created when a person's intense emotions, especially hatred or jealousy, cause their spirit to leave their body. The spirit can then go on to harm others, either by possessing them or causing them physical or mental distress. The Ikiro is particularly feared because it is not a separate entity but a part of a person themselves. Some believe it could be a manifestation of extreme mental illness or simply a spirit born from a person's own unresolved emotions. Yuki-onna, the Snow Woman. The Yuki-onna is a ghostly, beautiful woman who appears during snowstorms. Often dressed in white, she freezes her victims with her icy breath and leads them astray in the snow, causing them to become lost and eventually die from exposure. In some stories, she appears as a figure who brings cold death, while in others, she might show moments of mercy, sparing certain individuals but haunting them forever afterward. These creatures come from a rich and complex history of folklore and superstition, and their stories continue to evolve. Some yokai are purely malevolent, while others reflect more complex ideas about vengeance, spirits, and human nature. That concludes this lore. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next lore. Bye.